The following is an editorial opinion and does not necessarily reflect the views of Jewish TV channel and its staff. Welcome to a Jewish TV channel exclusive. What Others Won't Say, with Thane Rosenbaum.
For a nation known for gold, diamonds, and apartheid, not necessarily in that order, South Africa now enters into the "are you kidding" sweepstakes of global absurdities. This past week, before the International Court of Justice, South Africa brought a criminal complaint against Israel, alleging that the Jewish state has violated the UN Convention on Genocide with its war in Gaza. Jews know a lot about the Genocide Convention and why it was adopted. There was no official crime of genocide before the Holocaust, and the genocides that have followed never were comparable in scale or in humanity. So South Africa has decided to trivialize the crime by applying it to Israel's just war against Hamas, pinning the charge of genocide on the very people for whom it was originally created. Israel is in a war it didn't start and didn't want. It was attacked on October 7th by the terrorist organization that has repeatedly stated its intent to kill all Jewish Israelis and then take aim at Jews around the world. Genocide is defined as the intent to destroy an ethnic, racial, or religious group. Intent is the key element. The only intent that satisfies the crime of genocide in this situation is the one that Hamas proudly proclaims: to kill all the Jews. Israel is fighting a defensive war. It simply wishes to protect its people from the 100,000 rockets that have been fired against the Jewish state since 2007 by the various terrorist groups in Gaza. If Israel truly intended to destroy Palestinians, it wouldn't be warning civilians to remove themselves from areas that are targeted for its military significance. Israel is aiming at Hamas and its weapons. Hamas has embedded itself among its people. Who's committing genocide here? Israel would not have created humanitarian corridors or provided aid, medical attention, and supplies. Does that sound like a country that is trying to kill Palestinians? South Africa points to the 22,000 dead Gazans. Well, those numbers are supplied by Hamas, which has a long history of lying about the number of dead and who is among that dead. For instance, Hamas designates all Gazans as civilians. But thousands are terrorists, and many of the civilians support Hamas, give aid to Hamas, and wouldn't leave Gaza if you book them on a cruise to Norway. They too are not civilians in the ordinary sense. Over the past 10 years, 1 million Muslims have been killed by other Muslims in places like Syria, Yemen, Iraq, Afghanistan, and Iran. Funny, no cases against any of those countries are on the docket of the International Court of Justice. Many Gazans have been killed, but they are casualties of war, not victims of genocide. All wars result in civilian death. Remember Dresden and Hiroshima? In eliminating ISIS, American military forces killed thousands of Iraqis in Mosul. It's called collateral damage, not mass murder. Does any of this really matter? This criminal case was initiated solely to embarrass Israel on the world stage, stain the Jewish state. You're no better than the Nazis. This court has no enforcement powers. Lady Justice should just keep her eyes closed until Israel finishes what it must do. Thane Rosenbaum for the Jewish TV channel.